Strength through will is how we can reverse the perversion of values that have been instilled in you, in me, and all our brethren, insidiously through generations of ancestral oppression. Though it stood with as much superhuman endurance as anyone could, it left a deep impression. Invisible scars that have caused us to devolve into a state of unconsciousness so malignant, we've nearly forgotten we're not a problem to be solved. We always been the solution they seek to dissolve, with the illusion of ties that bind us to a system that blinds, of most vicious design, which is to free no man. Only together, through sharing of wisdom, can we heal the wounds of division, forever sealing that evil incision, and finally deprogram.
Let's go into the conversation. Child support. Cause bruh, I ain't gonna lie, bruh. I pay child support. I love my daughter. I pay child support, but you put me on some illustrious game. So kind of dive into the game you put me on off air.
Well, let's be clear. Let's be clear. Child support has nothing to do with love.
Say that again for the people who listen.
Child support, paying child support, being on child support, it has nothing to do with loving your kids. You know what I'm saying? Don't let these people shame you, because at the end of the day, their bottom line is to make money for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about your child. You know what I'm saying? They just a business. And I learned that. I learned that it was just a business.
Let me say this in regards to what my brother is going into, because I don't want it to be misconstrued. What he means is he's not saying do not support your child. We're talking about, to make it clear, we're talking about the system of child support. Go ahead, my brother.
The title 4D program. That's what I'm talking about. It's part of Social Security. It's part of the Social Security Act. And basically what it is, ladies and gentlemen, for anybody that feel like I'm knocking somebody's hustle or whatever they're doing, if you have a son, your son, a boy child, he is already predetermined to be on child support. A female across the world could say that he's the father of her child and get on child support and be on the hook for it. So think about that.
So hold on. Let me make sure I ain't tripping. So all they got to do is say it, and you on the hook.
All they got to do. It's all they got. Man, listen. All they got to do is say you can never see a female ever, and she can say that you're her child's father. She can tell this she can go down to Human Services and sign up for whatever, and say that she can just pick a name out the phone book and say he's the father, and they're gonna be coming after you for that money that they're spending on this woman and this child. And guess what? Once she say that, they don't care. You gonna pay for that shit.
So hold up.
We're gonna talk about the whole cold hard facts today.
So hold up. So they don't have to prove before you start paying that you're the child's father?
No. All they gotta do is get a default judgment against you.
And tell the people how does that usually work in court? Oh,
well, pretty much they send you a letter and say, you know, that they trying to reach you, but in the meantime, they giving this baby insurance, they giving this baby child care, and giving this baby you know, the extras or whatever they getting, the AFTC or whatever. So now you on the clock. So when they send you a letter every now and then, let you know, hey, this bill is climbing. We need you to come down here. And if you ignore it, you admit to guilt through acquiescence. So about the third or fourth time they send you a letter, they send you a court date.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna act slow for a minute. What does the word acquiescence mean?
Acquiescence is pretty much admitting guilt by silence.
Guilt by silence. That's why,
Guilt by
listen,
silence.
the Deprogram Show is here to help the people, even if the show's host has to act slow. Go ahead, my brother.
All right, so pretty much, you know, by the time you get this court date, you know what I'm saying, they throwing little threats in there too. So if you don't show up, then you know what I'm saying, they just gonna write it down. They're gonna say, hey, he didn't show up this time. And you just keep ignoring them, thinking it's gonna go away, but it's not gonna go away. And then, you know, by 3-4 court days go by, now they got a default judgment. Now you are the father by default. And they could just be sending letters. They could be trying to serve you at an address that they think they got for you or whatever. And pretty much now they got a default judgment against you. Now you on the hook. Now they finna start garnishing your check for this child that you probably don't even know.
So hold on, let me ask you this, because this is what I hear.
This is worst case scenario. This is worst case scenario. I'm not trying to, because sometimes child support is needed because maybe two people don't get along.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
But child support is really for married people. And it's supposed to be in a divorce decree because it's, you know, it's a civil contract.
All right, hold up before you go too deep in there. So what I hear is, as far as the first part, a woman could say, hey, I got this child by Mr. X. We'll just say Mr. X. And give a fake address for Mr. X. And then when they finally catch up with Mr. X, she's gotten a default judgment because, let's be honest, this is not a knock on women, but women knows the system. So by the time they meet up with Mr. X's check is getting garnished.
Mm-hmm. So now you gotta go to court to see what the fuck going on. Like what's up? Why y'all doing this? You know what I'm saying? And they like, but guess what? Now I ain't trying to hear the shit you saying. Now they telling you like this is what it is. Like, you finna pay this and you owe us this. Like, but I don't even. Now sometimes you can go in there and you can get a DNA test. And you know what I'm saying? The evidence stack up. You got the girl who coming in saying, hey, I made a mistake, whatever. You go in there, get a DNA test, and then they'll just cancel it out. But that's if you on top of it. Because if they get a default judgment on you, it's going to be hard to get off of that.
So hold up. So if you get a default judgment, how hard is it then to say, hey, let me go get this DNA test?
Oh, they don't want to hear that shit. And if they done already secured the bag on your ass, they is not trying to hear that DNA shit. Because guess what? Where was you at when we was trying to get in touch with you for this DNA test and this whole process? Where was you? You was running from us.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate in that. I'm gonna be Mr. X. Hey man, y'all didn't even have the correct address. What would they say to me then?
Sir, that's not our problem. We have an order. We have a child support order. A judge signed on this. So you have to pay this child support. I mean, it's nothing. It ain't nothing that because you got to think, what the fuck, nigga? It's so many moving parts in child support. What is one person gonna do? Like, it ain't one person that's gonna be able to sign off on saying, well, yeah, just let this guy go. You can go down there and talk to the clerk. You can go down there and talk to the sheriff. You can go down there and talk to the magistrate, the little referees, whoever they. You can go down there. They can't let you off because it's a unilateral contract, but that shit's so twisted. Like, it's illegal.
How is it illegal?
All right.
Cause hey, I'm gonna be honest. As a man who paid child support, And also, this is me. I want y'all to understand this. I'm speaking of myself. I also support my daughter outside of the court. Go ahead. So tell the people how it's illegal.
Well, so in order for monies to be transferred like that in a business sense, right, there has to be a contract in place. You're doing business, so you have to have a contract in place. Okay. I mean, it's commerce being moved, right?
Absolutely.
So, if you read the child support manual, it basically say that child support is 100% voluntary.
So okay, let me say this, because I'm speaking on my case. So check this out. I know I wasn't going to always see eye to eye with the mother of my child, and this is key to people. I had my daughter was born out of wedlock. That's why I think my brother mentioned earlier, make sure you marry and to somebody you can always be with. But whenever you fornicate and you know you're not going to work out with your child's mother, this is what I did. You your own man, but this is what I did. I said, hey, put me up. Let's get this over with. Put me up. And me and her, this don't happen often. We went, got the DNA test done for my daughter. I found out it was mine. And we went to the court. And we both agreed on a price that I would pay. And we worked out. We used the system to work out our own differences. So in my case, I ain't tripping because I knew, hey, me and this woman ain't gonna see eye to eye. Let's get this. I felt like let's get this thing documented. Let's get it worked out. And that way, can't nobody say, hey, Mr. McClendon, R.M.J.R., why aren't you taking care of your child? And I could say, hey, brother, hey, sister, I've made a conscious effort as a father. I knew I wasn't going to be with her mother. We are on, let me mention this. We're on great terms now because we both grew up as individuals, but the order is still in place. And my daughter will be 16 in January, but we're now consenting adults working together to raise and maintain our daughter. So I suggest anybody who listen to this show, you got to work together. If you put listen, man, you put your penis in that woman, man, you better work with her. Now, we talking about an instance right now where that wasn't the case. And I feel sorry for brothers like that. So I can't even say protect yourself in a situation like that. Because you ain't even did nothing. Go ahead, bro.
Right. But like, it's crazy because like, even if you go and sign the birth certificate and all that shit, and the baby get your last name, you still ain't got no rights to the baby. The daddy don't. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Ain't that crazy?
Crazy is all outside.
Ain't this crazy? So, you know, you're going through all this stuff with the courts or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna let you go. Now, what I did was, because I'm still currently on child support, but I'm in the process of reversing the order.
Hold on,
I don't want to get too much of that. I don't want to get too much of that away right now.
Okay. Hey, listen, man. As a man, don't never reveal your hand before it's already done. That's just
right.
That's just good game.
This like 3-4 years in the making.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm in the process of getting the order reversed.
So when you do get that reversed and it's sealed, we'll come back and talk about it. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be back. So going through all that shit. But yeah, like you just got a ban. For one, I feel like the situation with the whole child support thing, it's like the government, the society. Well, I don't want to say the government, but society wants us to be apart. They do. Because if you put something that's gonna come between the mother and the father that's gonna affect the child, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to be told what to do when it comes to their child or how to take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, even as parents, like, you might put your son something on, and your wife might say, or you might put your daughter some certain clothes on. You might, your might, I don't like that. Like, you be like, so I put it on them, so what? But now you got a whole outside entity telling you how to take care of your child, telling you that you're not taking care of your kids. Like, that never sat well with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I don't pay that shit. I stopped paying because guess what? It ain't got nothing to do with me taking care of my kids. You know what I'm saying? It really don't. Like, it take away the communication part. Oh, fuck that nigga. I ain't gotta talk to that nigga. I ain't gotta ask that nigga for shit. Then I'm gonna go down to these people. You know what I'm saying? It take away it just further takes away the family dynamic. Like, you ain't gotta be with this nigga, but guess what? Y'all got a child. You still gotta listen to him. You still gotta communicate with him, let him know what's going on. Like, you just mad, you mad or you mad it didn't work, or you mad because he got a new bitch, or you mad about something, just mad, and so you using that as an excuse to not deal with him. You know what I'm saying? Or not deal with her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, y'all, like, it has to, like, you have to communicate. You have to. That's why our kids are growing up the way they're growing up, man. Like, if you think about it, like, we sit back and talk about how kids are so different from when we were growing up, but look how they're being raised. You know what I'm saying? Like, daddy can't even raise his voice at his kid because mama don't play that shit. Because guess what? Mama ain't got to listen to him. Mama ain't got to respect, you know what I'm saying, the man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just me studying and going through the motion with this stuff, I see, like, I don't hold nothing against my baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting the system. I ain't fighting with them. I'm not fighting with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting the system. Like, I don't want to be a part of this system. Because it's just another form of slavery. Like, you think about it, man. You want child support, and they could tell you however much that you got to pay for child support. So now you got to go out there and get 2 or 3 jobs just to survive. How the hell is you gonna be able to think? How are you gonna have time to sit back and think about how you gonna get yourself out of that situation if you working all the time?
In that regard, you become a slave.
You become a slave. You on a hamster wheel. You can't even think for yourself. You can't even think for yourself. These folks thinking for you. They telling you what you got to do to do. You know what I'm saying? And that not, I don't, like you said earlier, I don't condone nobody not taking care of their kids, but that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. And then you can't shame me into saying, well, oh, nigga, you don't pay child support. You can't shame me. Because guess what? I take care of my kids. My kids good. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be shamed in it, but that's what they do. They say, oh, well, you're a deadbeat. They come up with words like deadbeat.
Because you're deadbeat. Because you're not giving them the money.
Because guess what? When you can, I'm going to tell you something. You send your baby mama $200, ask her how much she received.
She don't receive all of it because you got fees, penalties, and all things of that nature.
Okay, so where that's going?
To them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why they on your ass about their money. They don't care about your child. So you know what I'm saying? I encourage every black man, any man, Because when every time I'd have been to child support court, I ain't seen no white. I seen one white man one time go to child support court. It was funny as hell. He got locked up because he went the day after his court date. He showed up the day after. They done locked him up. He and that motherfucker. He and that motherfucker tripping because he like, so I'm going to jail for child support? Like, he was from New York or some shit. He was like, I can't believe it. He's like, well, I mean, I get a check. I can pay the purge like Thursday if y'all get a limit. Like, nope, you going to jail. Was like, I don't have nobody to come get me out. So he called the people he worked for, like, hey, can you just come get me out of jail? My purge is nothing like $2,000. Ain't nobody got $2,000 for him, though. You know what I'm saying? He was sick. But the point I'm making is, every time I done went to child support court, I ain't never seen no white people in there or no Mexican. I might have seen a white girl with a nigga, but I ain't never seen two white people in that motherfucker talking about some child support. I ain't never seen no Mexicans in there. You know what I'm saying? It's all us. So I encourage, this is what I encourage every black man. If you on child support and them people say you owe them, I encourage you to challenge that notion. Because 9 times out of 10 you'll be surprised at what you'll find out. Because listen, and I'm gonna tell you something too. If they done told your baby mama, look, he owe you $50,000 back child support, just know she ain't finna let your ass off the hook either. But I challenge any black man that's in this system that don't feel like it's just or right. I just challenge you to just dig a little deeper and ask a few questions, and you'll be surprised.
Hey man,
because
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
All right, we gonna wrap it up with that because Mr. Hernandez will be back. It was an excellent interview. We got more content coming because, like I told you on the first episode, he will be back. We can't give y'all all the game and all the knowledge in one episode. We got enough for today. This is the Deprogram Show with R.M.J.R. and a very special reoccurring guest, Mr. Geno Hernandez. And we gone.